For more than 1,000 years, Constantinople was not just a city. It was an imperial capital, a religious center, a fortress, a trading hub, and a symbol of survival. Today, we know it internationally as Istanbul, the enormous Turkish metropolis that straddles Europe and Asia. But long before the modern skyline, this city stood at the heart of the Roman and Byzantine worlds. From the year 330 until its conquest by the Ottoman Empire in 1453, Constantinople served as the capital of the Roman Empire in the east. Even after that conquest, it continued as the Ottoman capital, known formally as Constantine, until the old imperial order gave way in the 20th century. Few cities have carried so many names, empires, and identities while remaining so central to world history. Constantinople's power began with geography. The city occupied a peninsula at the southeastern edge of Thrace, in the European part of what is now Istanbul. To the east lay the Bosporus, the narrow strait dividing Europe from Asia and linking the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara. To the north was the Golden Horn, a sheltered natural harbor that could protect fleets and support trade. To the south stretched the Sea of Marmara, connecting onward toward the Mediterranean. Across the water were ancient settlements in Asia Minor, including Chalcedon and Chrysopolis. This position made the city a natural gateway. Whoever controlled Constantinople could influence movement between continents, between seas, and between entire economic worlds. Before it became Constantinople, the site was already an ancient city called Byzantium. Its transformation began under Constantine the Great, the Roman emperor who recognized that the empire needed a capital better suited to its changing reality. Rome was still symbolically powerful, but the empire's wealth, military pressure, and political attention were increasingly shifting eastward. In 324, Constantine chose Byzantium as the foundation for a new imperial center. He initially presented it as New Rome, a city deliberately designed to rival the old capital. In 330, it was formally dedicated as the new capital of the Roman Empire. The name Constantinople, meaning the city of Constantine, would preserve the emperor's role in remaking a local settlement into an imperial stage. The rise of Constantinople reshaped Roman history. When the Roman Empire was later divided into eastern and western halves, Constantinople became the capital of the Eastern Empire. Then, in the 5th century, the Western Roman Empire collapsed as a political structure. But in the East, Roman government continued from Constantinople. Modern historians often call this eastern continuation the Byzantine Empire, but its people saw themselves as Romans. Constantinople was their new Rome, the place where imperial administration, law, ceremony, and Christian authority came together. The city's ascendancy marks what we now call the Byzantine era, a period in which Roman traditions survived, adapted, and fused with Greek language, Christian theology, and Eastern Mediterranean culture. From the middle of the 5th century to the early 13th century, Constantinople was widely regarded as the largest and wealthiest city in Europe. Its streets contained palaces, churches, markets, libraries, workshops, and ceremonial spaces that reflected centuries of accumulated imperial wealth. The city was not only a seat of power but a display of power. Visitors encountered domes, towers, marble, mosaics, and public monuments designed to communicate that Constantinople was the heir to Rome. Its prosperity came from administration, taxation, diplomacy, manufacturing, and trade. Because it sat between Europe and Asia, and between the Mediterranean and Black Sea worlds, it attracted goods, travelers, envoys, soldiers, scholars, and merchants from across a vast region. Among Constantinople's most famous monuments was Hagia Sophia, the great cathedral of the Eastern Orthodox Church and the seat associated with the Ecumenical Patriarchate. Its scale and dome made it one of the defining architectural achievements of the Byzantine world. But Hagia Sophia was only one part of the city's monumental landscape. The imperial palace served as the center of court life and government. The hippodrome hosted chariot races, ceremonies, and mass gatherings, making it both an entertainment venue and a political arena. The Golden Gate of the land walls marked a grand ceremonial entrance, while aristocratic palaces testified to the wealth of elite families. Constantinople's architecture turned imperial ideology into stone, brick, and glittering decoration. Constantinople was also a center of learning. The University of Constantinople was founded in the 5th century, helping support the administrative and intellectual life of the empire. Its scholars worked in a world where classical learning, Christian theology, law, and bureaucracy all mattered. The city also possessed a vast imperial library, said to have contained more than 100,000 volumes. In an age when books were handwritten and expensive, such a collection represented enormous cultural capital. Constantinople helped preserve and transmit knowledge from the ancient world, even as it developed its own traditions. The city's importance was therefore not only military or economic. It was also a repository of memory, texts, education, and institutional continuity. Yet the feature that made Constantinople legendary was its defense. The city's location already reduced its vulnerability. Water protected it on multiple sides, the Golden Horn to the north and the Sea of Marmara to the south. Only the landward side required the most extensive fortification. There, the Theodosian walls formed one of the most sophisticated defensive systems of antiquity. They included a double wall, placed west of earlier defenses, with a moat and palisades in front. Attackers did not face a single barrier, they faced layered obstacles designed to slow, expose, and exhaust them. For nearly 900 years, despite repeated sieges by different armies, these defenses helped keep the city unconquered. The walls protected more than buildings. They protected an idea of invincibility. Constantinople was constructed intentionally to rival Rome, and later tradition claimed that the city's elevations matched Rome's famous 7 hills. Inside its walls were palaces, churches, administrative offices, markets, and neighborhoods that together formed a self-conscious imperial capital. To enemies outside, the walls were a physical problem. To people inside, they were psychological reassurance. The city had endured crisis after crisis because its defenses, geography, and wealth reinforced one another. This made Constantinople a prize many wanted but few could take. Its apparent permanence gave the Byzantine Empire a center that could survive even when distant provinces were lost. But Constantinople's aura of security was shattered in 1204 during the Fourth Crusade. Instead of continuing toward its intended eastern targets, the crusading force became entangled in Byzantine politics and ultimately attacked the city itself. The result was catastrophic. Latin crusaders sacked Constantinople, stripping it of wealth, damaging institutions, and violently interrupting Byzantine rule. The city then became the capital of the short-lived Latin Empire, which lasted from 1204 to 1261. This was not simply a change of rulers. It was a trauma that weakened the city and the Byzantine world around it. In 1261, the Byzantine Empire of Nicaea recaptured Constantinople, but the restored empire was not the same power it had once been. After the recovery of Constantinople, the Palaeologan dynasty presided over a partial revival. Art, diplomacy, and religious life continued, and the city remained symbolically immense. But its territory, population, and resources were diminished. Meanwhile, a new power was rising to the east and west of the city, the Ottoman Empire, which emerged at the end of the 13th century and expanded steadily. As Ottoman territories grew, Byzantine lands shrank. By the early 15th century, the empire was reduced largely to Constantinople and its immediate surroundings, along with the Despotate of Morea in the Peloponnese. The once mighty empire had become almost an enclave inside Ottoman power. Constantinople still possessed its walls and prestige, but its strategic isolation was becoming impossible to ignore. In 1453, Constantinople finally fell to the Ottoman Empire after a decisive siege. The conquest ended the Byzantine Empire and marked one of the great turning points in world history. Yet the city did not disappear. It became the Ottoman capital and continued to function as an imperial center for centuries. Under Ottoman rule, it was known as Constantinople in official usage and developed as a major Muslim, imperial, and commercial metropolis. Its status as capital lasted until the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire and the creation of the Republic of Turkey, when Ankara became the new capital in 1923. The city, now known as Istanbul, remains Turkey's economic and financial center, with more than 16 million residents. Constantinople's empire is gone, but its geography, memory, and influence still shape the modern world. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.